Welcome back, everyone. Today it's an exciting day because patch 11.1 is here. We've got a whole new place full of content, new dungeon, new delves. Your talents have probably reset. You might be wondering, what should I do first? Is there anything that needs to specifically be done this week? Things that you can perhaps relax on, or a little bit more spookily, are there things you should do first, or perhaps do in a certain order so you don't miss out on free rep or free progress? The good news is, do not worry, we have got everything figured out. In today's video, you'll get all you need for 11.1. I've also got a truly novel experience to share. Boot.dev, they've sponsored today's video, and I wish they were there when I was in uni, man, because there, right at Boot, you'll learn the coding, engineering, and career skills that you need to break into back-end web development, but with the best of twists, because their founder is a massive gamer, and that's why Boot is different. It's an RPG. It's got quests, levels, XP, boss battles, real-time leaderboards, and an active Discord community, which is basically like you're learning to program MMO guild. It's very cool. And it's got soul, it's got sauce, just looking at the UI, the vibes, the way things are architected. And that actually matters when you're learning a new skill. You don't want it to be boring and dry and lifeless. That'll actually make you hate programming, and Boot is the opposite of that. Now, you'll learn Python and Go across a wealth of content covering the fundamentals right through to the deeper learning topics like, say, algorithms. You'll build real projects for your portfolio. You'll do fun things like, say, asteroids in Pygame, such that you can actually start to cook and make your own custom version of asteroids with your own game rules and stuff. And you'll avoid two massive problems. One is tutorial hell, where you bounce from place to place without a cohesive learning path. And two is those get-rich-quick style code bootcamp hell things that are unrealistic and leave you not actually knowing everything you need to know. Boot is realistic, it has got the sauce, and it's just plain better than the rest, and it's tailored to people like us. You'll get 25% off your first purchase at boot.dev/Bellular, and it's zero risk. You can browse all of their content, you can do their demos, view their materials, and all that for free, and when you do buy, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. I need to talk about add-ons, and this is not me generically saying, go and update your add-ons. I mean, yes, do that, but there are ones that will be amazing for this patch, and in a way that will make you enjoy the game more. Number one, get Plumber. Plumber is an absolutely amazing add-on by Peter Yu. It's got a ton of minor UI fixes, and some major features like this gorgeous loot window, which also fixes WoW's broken auto-loot. That stuff's all real nice, but then you need to get Dialogue UI. It's by the same add-on author. People keep asking, like, why we see cool little pop-up text when we pick up items, why our quest log looks as good as it does. It's because we're using Dialogue UI. It's an amazing add-on, and when you're diving into a big new patch that's actually got a story to tell, an add-on like that will help you actually see that flavor text and, well, not click through everything and not really have an idea what's going on. Okay, almost time to log in, but if you play any of the classes on screen right now, you should take a quick look over your class guide of choice. Things have basically changed enough that you will want to read up on those right away. With that done then, or if you're still in the queue for class changes, it's time to hop in game, update your recores, and then finally get playing. Once you log in, there's a few quick freebies to get before we go to Undermine. So, Dornegal has got a whole stack of new things to clean up. You'll want to go to the purple quests that are on your map. There's Brann's seasonal refresher for delves, that will get you a free coffer key. There's Viscarn's upgrade explainer, which will give you some Valor stones and crests for free. And then the Catalyst guy will explain how this season's Spark of Fortune works. And also a neat thing in the Catalyst, you'll be able to freely change Season 1 items into Season 1 tier, which is real good for hunting transmog. With our basics done, it's time for the Undermine story. In Foundation Hall, Renzik will send you to a brand new area in the Ringing Deeps. With Dialogue UI installed, you'll get a lovely reading experience, so go enjoy the Undermine intro. You'll have a short questline with Orwena and Gazlo that's uncovering a secret goblin operation, learning who's in charge, and, well, how morally bankrupt just some of the goblins can be. After that stuff, you will land in Undermine, where, after a short trip to the Intercontinental Hotel, this patch's basically hub area, you'll unlock your car, and your car will make getting around easy and extremely fast. Once you've got the car, you're free to go anywhere, but there are a few features locked behind story progress, so I do recommend that you just finish the story stuff off first. Now, you're not going to be able to completely finish the new campaign. That's because there's a post-raid chapter that'll be coming later, but you can get up to 5 out of 6 chapters done, so we're really quite away from the days where we would get 1 chapter a week, and it would be very, very slow. It's much better. The story itself may feel a little bit off-piste, coming from this expansion's focus on our big box art cover characters, but honestly, this story does a great job of giving the goblins depth, the sort of depth they've been missing for years, and it sets up some real cool ethereal mysteries for patch 11.1.5 and beyond. If you pay attention, I think this one actually will reward you. Anyway, once you've got that sorted, it's time to sink your teeth into the patch, but not into the new season. Of course, no raid, no Mythic Plus, no major gearing, that will all be next week, but all the quests, the world content, and the achievements are up, which means there's actually a lot you can get doing. And that means our next step is to pick up all the weeklies in the Intercontinental Hotel. This is where the bulk of your reputation and your rewards are going to come from. So you've got here shipping and handling, surge pricing, scrap, cartel contracts, and this little thing called the C.H.E.T.T List. And it basically means your map will be covered in purple quests that are introducing these features, so doing those is the best way to start, and to make sense of it all, I'll break it down. Before anything, you'll want to sign a cartel contract, because if you don't do that, you will waste tons of reputation, which of course we don't want. There's a normal renown, right, that is called the Cartels of Undermine, and that's your overall reputation for this whole zone, which is pretty much like we're used to. But then you've got the individual cartel reputations, and this time it actually does not work like the C.H.E.T.T renown stuff that we saw in the past, where it was a renown shared between them. This time, actually, you've got a regular old renown for the zone, but then these are basically old school style reputations on top, which is pretty neat. So when you land in the Intercontinental, you'll get introduced to Katie, and she will give you a quick little tour of the cartel quartermasters and then ask you to pick one up. And it's important you know how these function. So these are warband wide and they reset weekly, which basically means pick one that you want to progress and you'll progress that one. And this is a choice that you make across your entire account, so you can't really do multi-alt, shenanigans to game the system. Realistically, you'll just want to find the one that you think has got the coolest mounts, toys, or car paint color, and then just stick with that until you hit Exalted, or perhaps the Steam Weedle for the infinite Noggenfogger elixir, which a few of us may remember from the deep, deep past, because the years really have rolled on. Anyway, once you've made your choice, your map will light up with cartel-specific world quests to clear for that reputation and some extra renown. But most importantly, once you've signed your contract, the other weeklies will also grant reputation for it. Our second thing to do should be the C.H.E.T.T List. Now, this may be locked behind Renown on Live, it's just one of those things, but basically, once it is unlocked, talk to Chet, and you'll get the C.H.E.T.T List. Now, this is basically a set of quick little to-dos that you can do for bonus Valor Stones each week. Completing each task gives you about 10 to 30 each, and then when you hand in the completed list, you'll get a bonus 250, which is pretty nice if you need some Valor Stones in a pinch. This will not be highlighted like most weekly quests though, so you basically just have to remember that it's there. Essentially, it's a side thing of tasks and little jobs that you can do while you're doing other things for some extra Valor Stones. As an example, that would be pretty useful if you're gearing up one of your alts and you just need loads of Valor Stones for upgrades. Our next type of world content is shipping and handling, which is basically you driving around completing micro quests for a goblin lady called Nanny Tallulah, who will reward you with great rewards like calling you honey, sweetie, baby, and of course, sugar plum angel face. Very nice. More importantly, though, she will give you some Valor Stones, which, might be the point. Now, the way this works is you get a pitiful amount per task, but you get a chunkier reward, including some crests, for doing a streak of 10. Now, on top of that, there can be a new world event called Surge Pricing. Yeah, guess where they got the inspiration for that one. The way it works is that for 10 minutes every hour, the bar will fill anytime someone finishes a shipping and handling quest. Basically, it works the same as the theater troupe. The more people contribute, the more rewards. This time, rewards equals Valor Stones, crests, gold, and resonance crystals. So, unless you're a serious Valor Stone farmer, for some reason, I guess, you'll probably only do this for the weeklies. There's one that will give you a weekly chest and a stack of 1,000 reputation for contributing to surge pricing, and there's another weekly that just gives reputation for doing 10 shipping and handling jobs in total. Of course, you'll be doing this while you're zipping around on your new car. And the theme is basically a bit of Crazy Taxi and GTA. Go somewhere, do a thing, go to the next place, and ideally do it quick. If you long for your childhood days of going around a big pile of rubbish trying to find some copper you can strip out for value, good news, scrap is here, and it's literally just digging through piles of scrap. You'll see a dustbin icon in your map, go there and get digging. If you do this 3 times, you'll finish off another one of your weekly quests, which will get you 1,000 rep. Now, there's actually some fun upgrades to this that are unlocked via Renown, and you can trade in things like empty Coca-Cola cans for Valor Stones, gold, and crystals, but for now, just worry about getting the weekly cleared up. With all our weeklies done, we're now basically free to go and do things in Undermine. And outside of the weeklies, the only major thing you can progress, of course, is your Renown. And one of the best ways to do this before the season launches is to use this time to clear all of the side quests. I say clear, but don't treat them like that. seriously, install Dialogue UI, have a read. The developers have actually tried. They've been doing such a good job with side quests in general, and when you pick the side quests up, you may think, hang on a second, these don't have any form of reward. Well, actually, no, they do give you reputation, but the rep comes from the final quest in each chain. That applies here in Undermine, it also applies to the rest of this expansion. And it will look like there's a whole ton of side quests, but quite a few of them are just like a few minutes. They're short little stories. But the side quests aren't all that there is for Renown and Rep. There's also side gigs. Now, side gigs reward basically the same things as world quests, but they're a little different because they send you to the new subzones of the Ringing Deeps and Zuldazar, which actually does give you quite a bit more variety in the patch. The way that they've done this is probably some sort of weird like Blizzard workaround, but there's that, right? So you can do your side gigs, and of course there are the usual methods like clearing all the regular world quests, the special assignment, the one-time treasures, and of course your daily rare mob kills, which, well, I will be doing because that does help to knock out the achievements. Brings me to the next topic. There are loads of achievements to get, and some of them have got real neat rewards. There's a few that are worth calling out right away, and the big one there is called Going Goblin Mode. You will want to go Goblin Mode because that will unlock you a new Warband campsite. We'll have a full guide to getting all of the new campsites later on this week, but this one you can basically just go and do right away. It's a mini meta achievement around the new zone, so basically all of your rares and your treasures will give you progress toward it, and it is fairly quick. Now, there's also races. If you get gold on all of the breaknecking ground races and the skyrocketing air races, that will of course get you the breaknecker and skyrocketer titles, which are pretty sweet, and honestly, fair play, Blizzard, you have made Mario Kart in World of Warcraft, and it's actually really goddamn fun. Now, if you get bronze in the ground races, that will give you a new engine. This newer engine will actually have a lower top speed than the default one, but it will have faster acceleration. So basically, if you find yourself bumping into things all the time, this one will probably be a bit quicker, and I'd say it's a good starter engine to use while you're getting the lay of the land and you're not able to perfectly time every single drift. Alright, let's check in with our progress. So by now, you should have done the story, you've done your weeklies, side quests, world quests, maybe even a few achievements like going Goblin Mode. The only thing left then, if you've made it this far in the video, is to do some optional preparation for the season, which will start next week. The first thing to talk about then is the Siren Isle. Yes, the Siren Isle. Okay, if you skip the Siren Isle, it would be a very good idea to go to the Siren Isle and get Circe's Circlet. The short version of that, so here's a little micro guide, is to go to the Isle, finish the quest line, and then keep doing quests until your ring has got an item level of 658. Then check your class guide to see what gems are the best for your class for Circe's Circlet. Go and find those gems, but you don't really need this until next week, so you can procrastinate a little bit. Another thing to do is a little bit of delve prep. So our delves are not scaled to Season 2 yet, but they are in the game, and that means that Brann, in his new tanking form, is in the game. You'll find, of course, the new delves Excavation Site 9 and Side Street Sluice. They're really fun. They're a little bit tricky, so it's actually worth getting used to them before the season pops and, of course, makes them harder. It's also a perfect time to hit up your bountiful delves and level up Brann. Yeah, you'll want to level him up because if he's strong enough, and you say put him into tank, he'll be able to tank tier 11 delves for you, which you'll absolutely want because they'll give you gilded crests, which is another great thing of this patch. And also, be sure to get enough weekly boxes to save up 5 restored coffer keys for next week. And to recap our sources there, you should have 1 from Brann and then 2 from the Undermine weeklies, so go and crack out 2 weeklies from the older zones, right, the previous 11.0 stuff, and you'll end up with a total of 5 keys from this week. And that's important because once the patch goes live, you will lose all of your existing coffer keys and they'll be resetting undercoins. Next on the content front, it's a little similar to Delves and it's not scaled yet for the new season, but Operation Floodgate, our new dungeon, is actually in the game. So if you want to check that out and get some practice in, now is a really, really good time. And if you're going to do that, you should pick up this quest in the hotel, which will of course get you some renown. So with all that said, let me give you the checklist. Clear up Dornagol's new little meta quests for some freebies, then do the Undermine story, pick up a Cartel contract, all the purple intro quests, all the weeklies you'll find in the Intercontinental Hotel, and do the side gigs that are located by the entrance. Do all those, then clear up the map of world quests and special assignments, ideally getting as much progress as you can on killing the rares, picking up treasures, and doing side quests. Then you make sure you go back to the older content to get your 2 weekly boxes from that, so you get a total of 5 coffer keys ready for next week so you can get yourself plenty of gear. Then, of course, go to the Siren Isle and upgrade C.H.E.T.T Circlet if you skipped on doing that in patch 11.0.7. And if you've got plenty of time to kill, doing bountiful delves to level up Brann and just cracking out as many of those world content achievements as possible would be a nice cherry on top. With all that done, you can log out until next week, but let's be real, that will take you a decent bit of time. And if you don't normally do those achievements, right, like the meta achievements, seriously, do them. Honestly, it's kind of worth it. It's nice when you feel, hey, I've actually done this patch instead of just sampled a bunch of random things. I recommend you do that. Tomorrow, we will be dropping our guide on getting all of the warband campsites. And until then, if you want an update on all of the class content stuff, well, check out this video next. Because, man, there's some revamps, some reworks, a lot of changes, pretty cool shit.